What is going on, guys? If you guys don't know who I am Doug with 4-Wheel Drive Trek. Generally, I'm out in my Jeep, but today we're gonna show off this Ranger Raptor that I got. I wanted something that was a little more fun for overlanding and a daily driver. My wife wasn't a huge fan of my WRX, so I got the next best thing, which I feel is like a WRX on steroids. Truck version, of course. So this is going to be the real world review of the truck. As you can see, I'm out in the mountains right now. I daily drive it, I take it up here, and I am at just shy of 2,000 miles. So it's a real review. Let's jump into it. If you are new to the channel because of this thing behind me, please hit that subscribe button for me. Helps out the channel, and I'm also going to be showing a lot more of this thing. It's going to be an overland rig and my daily drivers, so I'm going to be building a lot on this and taking down adventures. So yeah, hit that subscribe button for me. I did drive a Toyota Tacoma. I drove the Nissan thing, whatever that truck was called. I did drive the Chevy Colorado, and I just felt like the rest of them, either the backseat was too small. Surprisingly, on the Toyota Tacoma, even though it's a mid-sized truck, the hood was really squared off, so I felt like I was in a big truck. And I actually settled on this guy because it was the most comfortable, had the most features, and it has the most legroom in the rear. All right, so I know I'm going from a Subaru up to a Ford. My dad has driven Fords forever. The first thing I actually drove was a Ford Ranger. And literally, this is the truck I learned how to drive on, a 96 Ford Ranger in blue. Yeah, so, you know, 30 years difference, math, 30 years difference. So we're going to talk about this thing and see if it's worth it, if it's not worth it, because that price tag isn't the best. Why did I buy this truck? Well, for one, I drove the big full-size Raptor at the Ford Performance Racing School in Utah with M-Power lights. Didn't take me long to buy myself one of these things. It is the Ranger Raptor, so it's the smaller, more agile one. It's a little bit small on the inside, but I have a couple small kids. I don't need a lot of legroom in the rear. All right, let's talk comfort. So with these seats, there's a lot of side bolstering, but it's a very soft side bolstering. So going up and down the mountain roads, it's very comfortable and it kind of hugs you, holds you in. I'm a very average sized person, so for me, they fit exactly perfect. I do also have to commute to and from work, which for that, it could take anywhere from 45 minutes to, I don't know, 2 hours to get home. Seattle traffic, am I right? So sitting in that for that amount of time is actually extremely comfortable. I don't have any like fatigue from just sitting in the seats like I did in my Jeep. Yeah, we won't talk about that. Let's talk about fuel economy. Miles per gallon with this thing. I'm gonna straight up say it's not really the best. For a truck, it's great, I think. Now it is time to see exactly what my fuel economy is. See if the little thing on the dash is accurate. That says 18 miles to the gallon, so we'll see if it's better or worse than that. Let's see how many gas rewards I have right now. Hopefully it's a lot. Awesome, got 40 cents off. That is a big one. I find this weird, there's no fuel cap. I want to know who else is getting hurt by all these gas prices. Who else is here in Washington watching this video? Comment below. Let me know where you're at. Ugh. $77. Gas prices need to come down. I'm just saying. Okay, so we got 18.601 gallons. I think that's the most I've put into a vehicle in quite some time. You do not want to know how much my bus takes to fill up. So we have 331.7 miles to this tank, and we have 18.601 gallons. So doing some quick math right here, that does put us at 17.83 miles to the gallon. In here you got the twin turbo V6. If you are nice on it, like I'm not, it does get about 20-ish miles to the gallon on the highway, and that was with a little bit of stop and go to it from work. However, If you're gonna be doing a lot of street driving, I do on average about 18 miles to the gallon. But I think it's more about that miles to the gallon than the miles to the gallon. So I just found out this cool thing as I'm driving home with a new utility trailer behind the truck, that the screen turns to a side angle if you turn your blinker on, meaning it'll automatically turn your left side camera on to show the left side of the trailer as you're turning a corner. That's kind of cool. And let's talk about towing a little bit more. I am towing 3 yards of mulch at supposedly about 1,000 pounds each, so 3,000 pounds. And the truck tows it without any issues at all. It actually does a lot of cool things with it in tow mode, where it will downshift for me as I'm slowing down. And it also kind of hangs in the RPMs a little bit higher, so as I'm accelerating, it doesn't shift into a higher gear. I don't notice anything whatsoever while towing with the truck. And 3,000 pounds isn't at the max capacity. 5,500 pounds is the tow capacity of this thing, which, I mean, if I need to tow something a little bit more, then I have the bus do it for me. So yeah, towing is awesome. It's easy and yeah, effortless. As everybody knows, it's already the BF Goodrich KO3 tires. How are they? Well, I haven't tried the KO2s. I also haven't had many all-terrain tires, but from my experience, they're actually pretty great. On the pavement, in the wet, there's enough power in this truck that I can spin tires. I'll just put it at that. When you get up here in the dirt, that's where these things take off. They are super grippy, so much so it's grabbing rocks and flinging them up underneath, thus mud flaps, but I'll talk about that in another video. Earlier, I was trying to have my dad take off for me so I could film it and kick up a lot of rocks. It just gripped and went. Now, I didn't really spin a lot of tires and kick up a lot of rocks on us, so that's good. Let's talk legroom. So we now know that the truck is fun, it's agile, but how much legroom do we actually have in this thing? So when it comes to these trucks, I have noticed, especially like with the Tacoma, this back door is really, really short because there's not a lot of legroom back here. So let's talk about it. As you can see here, I have 2 car seats in the back because I have 2 little girls. One is just shy of 3 years old, and the other one is about 5 months old. So I have the 2 different type of car seats in here. This one being the absolute biggest one that's going to be in here. It fits, and there's still legroom up front. As you can see, there's still plenty of legroom up here. My wife is about 5'6", so sitting up in here, plenty of legroom for her. And the big gigantic car seat in the back fits perfectly fine. So as you can see, the feet here, there's plenty of legroom here for her in her car seat, and she's obviously gonna get bigger, so the more she gets bigger, the longer her feet go down, and that cutout is gonna be perfect for her. Sitting in the back seat is actually not too bad. Obviously I have the car seats, but without the car seats, if I had to take somebody else, there's actually a lot of legroom. So you can see right here, this will help out a lot for anybody who is really tall. I am obviously not, but I can't quite reach it. Hang on. There we go. Giving more legroom to the front seat, I still have plenty of legroom for this cutout specifically. No other manufacturer, Tacoma, the Nissan, and the Chevy Colorado, had this cutout. So the rear seat actually was a lot more tight than this one is right here, which was a huge selling point for me to get this truck over the others. Good job, Ford. And with my daughter in the back seat, which she's not at the moment because toddlers don't want to cooperate very long, it still gives me a lot of space sitting up front up here. And it's very, very comfortable. I don't have to adjust my seat to give her legroom because there's plenty of legroom with that little cutout for her. If you do have a third child that's not in a car seat, they still can fit right in the middle. This is a little exaggerated because obviously I'm a lot bigger than a kid, but I did have my father-in-law come out and visit, and my wife sat in the middle seat while we went and did some stuff while we had both our daughters in here with her. So it can be done. It's a little tight if it's an adult, but a third kid will fit plenty fine. As you can see, the legroom and the size inside is actually pretty good for being a mid-sized truck. It is the biggest one that I felt as I drove them and sat in the back and everything from all the others I drove. So that is what drove me to this. As you can see, the legroom has improved greatly on the new ones. I can't believe I used to fit in here plenty fine with lots of room to spare. That's crazy. Let's talk about the off-road handling of the truck. As we're going up some trails up in Washington State, up a lot of logging roads, I gotta test it out to see how it really does at high speed, low speed, and overall just driving off-road. I will say that this thing is an absolute beast when it is going high speed off-road. Driving up these logging roads, I was purposely not looking how fast I was going just to see how comfortable it was, and the speed blew me away. Going slow, you can see here it kind of bounces around a little bit with a super soft suspension, but once you start kicking up a little bit higher speed, that's where this thing super excels. Being the smaller or baby Raptor, what it's been deemed called by everybody on the web, it does provide a little bit extra maneuverability around obstacles on tighter trails, something that the full-size Raptor definitely cannot do. I find the size of this super, super nice when I'm off on some tighter trails that we have here in Washington State. And even though this thing is definitely built for Baja mode and fast-paced driving, it definitely still does do some rock crawling or some slow climbing. It has traction control, so it acts kind of like it's a locker in the rear. It also has a front and rear locker, so you can go up and down. It does have downhill descent, so going down, even though it could lift a few tires here and there, because the Flex isn't quite as good as my Jeep, it still is a very capable off-road vehicle for even off of even the Baja racing that it's meant for. I love it. All right, guys, and I think that is going to be doing it for the Ford Ranger Raptor real world review. Hard to say 3 times fast. So I do want to kind of test this out, build it over landings. So if you guys are wanting to see a lot more of this, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you want to see me do out of this. Jumping it, maybe. But anyway, if you guys like the video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to see you guys all next time.